Good afternoon, YouTube. So, today we're gonna start tearing the DA apart. You guys have been waiting for a while for this video. I've been saving and collecting parts for a couple weeks now. We're gonna get the DA tore apart in this video, and then we'll do another video building the motor, and then we'll do another video probably cleaning up the bay, putting the motor back together, putting the motor in the car, and then test driving it. Test firing it, however. What we're gonna do is YCP 11.5 to 1 compression pistons. We're gonna do P8R head that I had cut 40,000s. We're gonna do Delta 272 cams, which if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I posted a picture of them. We're gonna leave the stock throttle body and intake manifold for now, and we're gonna leave the hood exit for now. I do want to get an Edelbrock short runner big volume manifold, and I do want to get the intake to 4-inch. So I'm hoping we can make 170, 180 wheel on the motor, and then probably 300 on nitrous. The DA is really light, so we won't need much more power than that. But let's get started. There should be a few of my friends coming over to help. The motor pulling process isn't that long, so I might get it done before they even get here. So let's get started. For those of you new to my channel, this is my 92 Acura Integra. We call it VACA. It's the cow, it's black and white. We have a Lexan window. Very gutted car. Little drag wing I made. Cut doors. No dash, just a cluster and a seat. I haven't finished cutting the car up. The floor and trunk are gonna get cut out. Mirror deletes. The hood and the hatch are very cut up. As you can see, it's really flexy. This is a stock JDM b20b, which is a P75 motor. We dynoed it in one of the videos, and we made 114.7 horsepower or 115 horsepower. So we're gonna get this swap out today. We're gonna clean everything up. The engine bay is not that dirty or anything, but there's a bunch of extra stuff I can remove that we don't need. The windshield wiper cowl is already removed, and we'll probably do a fuel filter and stuff like that while we have it apart, just to make sure everything is good. But I also have a half-size radiator, my P8R head, pistons, bought a clutch and everything for it. So we'll see what we can get done. So a good trick I like to do is when I'm pulling a motor, I just give me a little bin. I throw all the bolts in it just so I don't lose anything. The first thing I'm going to take off this is the header. Then I'll move to the dizzy, the wiring. Then I'll pull the radiator. I'll drop the fluids out of it, pull the axles, and then pull the motor out and the trans all together. I will be replacing the clutch, so the clutch is already here. I already have all the parts, so it shouldn't be that bad. Shouldn't be that long of a build either. So one thing I was actually interested in was, since I built this hood exit header, I wouldn't weigh it. I never weighed it last time, so let's see what it weighs. It says 16 pounds. It's pretty heavy for a header. So I undid the 2 chassis plugs on the driver's side, undid all the injector clips, undid the dizzy, ECT, power for starter, ground, took the battery out, undid the alternator, and all the wiring is off. I'll move it over to the side. I just got the fuel rail loose. I'm gonna pop this return line off and get the fuel rail out of the way. I'm gonna leave all the wiring and the fuel stuff in the car because I'm not changing any of that. The only thing I'm probably gonna do is put a 450 in-tank pump and get a fuel pressure regulator and turn up the fuel pressure to 60 psi for the 450cc injectors, just to make sure we have enough fuel for what we need on nitrous. I've only been working on the car for maybe 15 minutes, and good old Florida, we're already gonna look like it's gonna storm, so I might have to push the car back inside if it starts raining, but at least I have the garage to put it in. I don't have to leave it sitting outside. And Gonna get back to work, see how fast I can get the swap out. Just like every time we try to work on cars in Florida, outside, it starts raining. So I pushed the DA back in the garage, putting it up on jack stands. Gonna get the oil and water out of it without spilling it all over my garage floor. And so far, so good. So I just pulled the drain plug out. A little bit of metal shavings, nothing too crazy. Oil's really dirty and nasty though. Up.
Put them stands higher and then
So that's going to be it for part one of tearing down the DA. So we got the motor out, we got the trans out. What we found out is the axles are replaced. They're AutoZone axles that have a little paper on them. The clutch is OEM. The motor is super clean. Like, that motor is amazingly clean. All original head studs, original head gasket. Of course, they changed the intake manifold gasket because it has an LS intake manifold on the B20. All the bolts were torqued. There was no loose bolts, no nothing. Everything came out easy. So that tells me, you know, the car was at least taken care of. Like I said, I had never torn the motor apart, never checked really anything. Never really even took the valve cover off to check anything. I didn't really care to because I just beat on the motor. It was a $400 car. So that's stage one. We got the motor out, we got the trans out, we got everything apart. Next video, I'm gonna do some cleaning. Probably clean up the engine bay, clean up the motor, pull the pistons and rods out. I need to order bearings and a head gasket. Other than that, the DA is ready to go back together. As soon as I put the clutch in and put the motor mounts back in, stick the trans and everything back in and stick it back together. Hope you enjoyed it. Until the next one, y'all the greatest. Keep liking and subscribing. Like I said, my goal was to hit 1K by my birthday. Well, my birthday is on Halloween, if you guys didn't know, you know, or shout out to me. But my goal is to hit 1K by my birthday on Halloween. Until the next one, enjoy it. Have a great weekend. Well, it's Monday. Have a great week and then have a great weekend. We're going to get to building this motor as soon as possible.